Ah, yes. Look at this. This is a canyon. You can see the original dirt line where the tree was. And then look down through 1,000 years and into the water. If it could empty, that's actually lower than the water table to a large degree. You always see that it goes past a manganese layer into a lower layer, and it's about another 15 foot deep. Very, very beautiful. And it all started because I had this vision that it was given to me to find some rocks so I could have caves in the middle of a sandy soil, in the middle of a place where you didn't see rocks. I asked, dear God, give me guidance. Where should I dig? And lo and behold, it was this big field with 3 foot of red clay that nothing could grow on except thorny things for the most part, and occasional splotches where there would be a tree like this spot I'm standing on. And so from this I had a vision, and there was a tree like this, and you can see this all higher. That's the original ground level. And from there I saw 2 more rocks. I didn't realize how low they were. I knew they were lower, but when I found this one, I was amazed. When I found the water, I was absolutely assured. And then as I made the hole bigger, it's 350 foot long or so, and that blocks out all the highway noise and the truck stop that bought 5,000 loads of dirt, Exxon, that would have been in my eyesight right now with all the noise of all the trucks taking off, blasting across here and taking all the moths and all the critters of the night over to their lights and having them die. Now this is a drainage field for all the bad water that comes off the highway and comes off where that old gas station was and all that. It's part of remediation to go ahead and cure it all and have it sit there and be able to be sunk back in and plants absorb it, and all the things can happen when you keep the water from going back into the river and down for them to drink in Gonzales. So I spent quite a bit of money building all that. There's a canyon that goes back over there and all that back over there, but more than money I spent time. A lot of diesel, rented out a big old excavator and learned how to run all these pieces of equipment because I didn't know. I never had that chance. I always wanted to learn, but nobody let me on a $250,000 piece of equipment as a kid. And when I rented it, they didn't ask if I knew how to drive it already. So I learned pretty quick. I'm a quick learner. So all these caves and canyons, I'm going to stand up now. And I always say the proof is in your pudding, right? So look at this. Look at that. This is actually a stand-up view. Ground level, still above my head. But here, after I got done digging this gigantic cave underneath this gigantic rock I found, yes, the cave, it's 40 foot deep. And after I got that all dug out down there, I went, gee, I sure wish I had a hole in the top, so if I were to close up the top of it on the front and make a house at the very top of all where the water couldn't reach it, I'd be able to ventilate any smoke or have airflow and all that. And so I went up on top and started moving all these rocks. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. I leaned over too long. For some reason, that's an issue these days. But these big rocks were laying all over this, and I picked them all up. Part of each year when I'm in my 60s doing something that's just phenomenal, so I did this all by myself, of course, to make it more fun and challenging. And so these form a little ceremonial area, and this is the mother of all rocks. And people say, why do you call it the mother of all rocks? I said, well, that's pretty much self-descriptive if you ever come here. And it turns out this cap for this hole, before it broke away over the years with ice, that's the cap. I turned it over, and I found it up here when I actually dug all this away. And that's 75 feet. You have to bring up the dirt 25 feet, bring it up 25 feet more, and bring it up 25 feet more to get to the top to get the semi-trucks to haul it away so that I could have a hole. But I didn't use for my walls. Okay, I know I got carried away and it took too long. But I wanted you all to see how beautiful this one rock is. Oh, that goes underneath. There's another rock over there. So my goal, before I lost control of it, and tried to even offer it to the guy that's supposed to be buying it, that was on going to be my friend list, and help go ahead and manifest this. And literally within 48 hours of them telling me, I was evicted off the property, and all this is being taken over a period of time. So it's taken a while, because I'm not happy, and I'm not going to leave easily without going ahead and taking care of fixing up some things and moving some things away. But they're going to probably destroy much of this to turn it into commercial. That goes underneath, and I was going to have a little house, technically in Texas, a rock roof, and have the house come out and float above that and go all the way through the other side and let the water fall underneath like a Frank Lloyd Wright house with the rock across it. And it's a design I have and all the materials to build it with, but unless I procure the land again, that's never going to happen. And that one I was digging off, hand dug off most of that for my exercise this spring until it became obvious there's no reason to keep expending energy over here. And you can still come here and use it for the next 3 months or so while I'm in the process of trying to argue them down to a reasonable price, or to have to go ahead and deal with going through courts to leave it eventually, for a number of reasons. But there are some legal issues that weren't complied with and caused me great grief. Oh, wow. But anyway, not your problem, my problem. So if you would, oh, by the way, look at this. This is one of the ways down. So you go down, there's a waterfall. So when it rains, like it did yesterday, there's 2 waterfalls. That's one of them, and there's another one over there. And they take the water from the high ground. And again, if you capture it and let it loose and capture it and let it loose, like this pipe, drilling pipe, to catch it up there and drop it out down there with huge amounts of pressure on it. And then you take that and turn it into compressed air in a tank, and you have power when you want it through compressed tools in these big tanks, 1,000-gallon tanks with a lot of pressure built up from that waterfall. These are all things we could be doing for practically free energy, except unfortunately this example that I've been building that also creates life is being taken away, and I've made some bad choices, and unfortunately, in my opinion, others will pay for what I failed to do. So this is a canyon, and you saw me walk over that rock. That rock right there was 8 feet of underneath. You walk underneath it and climb up the other side. And this is all filled up with really good sand. If we mix it now with mushroom mulch from the mushroom farm nearby, we can create incredible soil to help grow food without having to add a lot of other nutrients. It's a byproduct of what they do to grow mushrooms, which are also very valuable for your body. So anyway, these channels were meant to do that, to be able to grow things in these channels and then give them some protection from all the different issues as it goes. Once upon a time, water was on the property and rolled so much that it turned these stones round and made them examples of quartz and layers. And you see some quartz in there. I found so many amazing things, including Clovis elements, tools, and evidence of the past. And every time you get a wash, geotectites and even, I think, some other things that ultimately many lessons to learn. So I said I'd be gone, and I went, and then I came back so I could go ahead and show y'all what some of the other diggings were, because I did dig for several months. This was 4 months of me running solo full throttle, and I think it was about 1,400 hours in machines in 4 months. And a few of them tipped over. I mean, admittedly, it wasn't all in the machine. I was digging the machines out, and Taki tipped over 3 times on the side or all the way over on her back. I say Taki tipped over. It's like, it fell. It wasn't me. Sadly, this is all part of what I've lost for the moment. I have a piece of peninsula out there still left on Walden Pond, but I'm going to have to dry all this up, because that's on... Anyway. So bye. I'm going to leave you with a picture of the ship of salvage dreams. I built that in 11 days. By the way, I'm totally screwed. Literally no nails. And it was in the evenings. Oops, there we go. And I did that because I was going to Las Vegas. That was one of my 2 7-day trips to leave salvage, my ashram. And I went to Las Vegas to give away house kits to people who are going to have nonprofits and give to people like women and getting on programs to have babies and stuff like that. But nobody wanted a house kit, and nobody wanted the parts to build with or the way to teach them. What they wanted was how to live rich running a nonprofit. And I was disgusted so much I never left again. The other time before that, 7 years ago, when I went to Paris to get my son cremated and brought him home. I'm not very fond of the outside world, but it may be time for me to go out there and try to share. And that's what's being done. I'm being told by Adam, and I feel by God. You got to give up something. You got to enlighten yourself. You can't make the next leap unless you choose to lose your steed. Let's hope we can make it. We're going to lighten the load. The steed may make the leap across the chasm at the fringe. If you haven't listened to that online at YouTube, please do. Listen to the Song of Salvage by Adam, and the other Song of Salvage version, which has a house being torn down. I saw parts 4 in El Campo by 3 women over 49 years old and 5 kids, and 7 days to music, and my Song of Salvage. Good luck, guys. I know everybody in the world is probably left because nobody ever watches these more than a minute and a half, but I sure thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a great day. Yeah, all this. See that? Straight there. Big old line. Ugh.